Hello ladies and gentlemen, the heelest of battles is here back on the channel. As you can see by the title, it's time to talk some NXT No Mercy this weekend. I'm excited, I'm hyped. I always love the times when TakeOver comes around. And let's not waste any of your time, let's get into it. Kicking off with the WWE Women's Speed Championship as the defending champion, Sol Ruca, 2-belt Soul Spray, we're going to call her, Sol Ruca, defending her championship against Lainey Reed. I don't know why she's not defending her NXT Women's North American Championship, which, by the way, she is now officially the longest holder of that championship title. Congratulations, Sol. Very proud of you. Lainey Reed. I don't know much about her, even though she's from my home state, which is pretty cool, so home state girl, it's pretty cool. From what I've seen, at least from highlights and stuff, she's not bad. She's really not bad at what she does, but I need to see more. I think I need to see more. The speed concept, I'm just not a big fan of, as you guys know. Like, it's cool for social media and stuff, but like, I don't know why WWE tried to brought it to NXT. I mean, I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of it, but that's not changed the fact that Sol Ruca is going to be on pay-per-view. Anytime Sol Ruca is on pay-per-view, it should be a fun night. This really, honestly, like, it's just there. I guess, like, cause like, I don't care about the speed, but this still should be a fun match. Very excited to see what Lainey Reed can do. But I don't know. Something is telling me that they're going to give her the win with this one. Yeah, I like Sol. She is awesome at all. And she's great. But I don't know. I feel like they're going to crown a new champ here. Like I said, I don't really care about the Speed Championship. So I'm just glad Sol's on pay-per-view. But I'm going to go with Lainey Reed to win the Speed Championship. I think reward her. Give her something to do. And, yeah, I'm going to go with the new champ, Lainey Reed, to pick up the win. Up next, we have Javon Evans versus Josh Briggs. I haven't really been following the storyline. All I know is that Josh Briggs is a dick. That's all we know about this, and at least from what I've seen on television. Javon Evans, of course, he lost at NXT's Heat Wave to Obafemi, so I think he's earned the win here with this match. And I think he's going to get the win. Nothing against Josh Briggs. I think he is pretty good, and he gets the heat. That's all I'm going to say. That whole thing when he tried the old Undertaker music, you know, the old biker, the American Badass stuff, that didn't work out for you well. And, you know, he's getting turned off his mic chants and all the usual stuff that happens with this guy. He is good. Josh Briggs is good, but Javon Evans is going to pick up the win here. I think he's going to pick up the dub and just continue on to see what they can do with this. And don't be surprised, this is like a trilogy or whatever with this match. But I'm going to go ahead and pick Javon Evans to win and beat Josh Briggs. So there you go. The NXT North American Championship. I'm sorry, the Canadian Championship, even though they're not calling it that. That's what Ethan Page is calling it. The Canadian Championship is on the line as he defends against Tavion Heights. Tavion won on that scourge, I believe, with I think it was Pro Wrestling Noah and stuff like that. He did some stuff there. Came back better than ever, of course. And of course, he's in the crosshairs of All Ego Ethan Page. You know, I'm glad this is not a flag match. They did that a few weeks ago. I'm not a big fan of the, you know, country versus country thing. It's just there, honestly, for me nowadays. But it still should be a fun match regardless. Tavion, again, like I said, he really has come into his own at what he's been doing. I'm just kind of breaking away from No Quarter Catch Crew and stuff like that. Just kind of miss No Quarter Catch Crew. I really do. And, of course, you have the NXT North American Champion himself, Ethan Page. This is way better than his NXT Championship run. I will give him that. Way better. Nothing against the NXT title run, but it didn't pan out for what we thought it was going to be. It still is going to be a fun match regardless. But, yeah, Ethan Page and the stuff he especially did with Chelsea Green and the Secret Harvest was specifically hilarious to me. And I love that. And I wish there was more. With that. You know, it was just a kind of a one-and-done thing, which is fine. But I wish there was more with that. That just had me cackling for a while. But here we are. The North American title, like it says on the line. I do like Tavion Heights. The guy is pretty cool. But I feel like All Ego still has a bit more left in the tank, as I think he's going to remain the NXT North American Champion for a while longer, because I think he is picking up the win here. Sorry, Tavion. It's All Ego time, and it's not stopping here. Ethan Page retained the NXT North American Championship. we have a weaponized steel cage match as Mariah May faces off against Jordynne Grace. Blake Monroe, there you go, I'll say it again, there you go, whatever. Same person. Anyways, this rivalry has been stemming, obviously, for a pretty good while last few months, and it's been pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. They went from besties and spas and all that stuff with the glamour, all kind of stuff, and now Mariah's reached back into her bag of tricks to become the woman from hell, which I'm glad they're bringing that to the WWE. You ever sit in the bathtub all dark and, when it's glimmery and it's all just bathed in blood and stuff like that, the glamour can bleed and stuff like that. She's saying in her promos and you've unleashed hell and stuff like that. You've unleashed all this darkness in her. And that's pretty much what Jordynne Grace has done. This has been a very, very fun rivalry. It has been fun. Jordynne obviously has been doing great since she's been signed to the company. This being another fun rivalry for her has been very good for both women. And it being inside of a steel cage, I honestly, no joke, and I know it's the woman from hell, they kept mentioning hell and stuff like that. I really thought this was going to be inside Hell in a Cell. That would have been a lot more fun. Like NXT having their first ever women's Hell in a Cell. Hell in so much in general for NXT would be fun. But hey, steel cage, I'm fine with that too. Of course, Mariah came out with, all the weapons and stuff this past week in NXT, which was pretty cool. Of course, Ava was not in charge, so, everybody else, doing their own thing. It's been announced, obviously, weaponized steel cage, so this is going to be fun. Who do I have winning? This legitimately, honestly, could go either way. Is this where Mariah is going to get one up once again on Jordynne Grace? No. I think this is where Jordynne Grace is going to pick up the win. Old steel cages are always fun, and it's always the end of feud, sometimes. But with this, I think this is where the rivalry is going to come to an end. Blake already won at Heat Wave, and she's been running away, and then she bathed in a bathtub full of her own blood, I think, and then freaking all that wild shenanigans, and the woman from hell is back, of course. But I don't think that'll be enough for her, because I think Jordynne Grace is going to pick up the win here. I think she's going to escape this. I think she's going to get her well-deserved revenge on Blake Monroe, and I think this is where this rivalry is going to come to an end. They both move on their separate paths to whatever May choose. So I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace to beat Mariah May. The NXT Women's Championship is on the line as Jacy Jayne defends her championship gold against Lola Vice. Of course, Lola won a number one contenders match back at Heatwave to earn this match and this bout against Jacy Jayne, who again, we never thought would hold the championship that long, and that was been the story, and she's been holding it for long. And she became the double champ, became Knockouts champ, and became the double champ, 2 belts, Jacy, all that kind of stuff, and, there we are with that. Of course, she lost the championship to Ash by Elegance, just, whatever. There's that. She already lost one. Will she lose this one? Well, depends on it. Well, first of all, Fatal Influence is falling apart more than ever because they kicked out Jasmine Nix, who is now gone from the WWE. Like, that's legit. She's gone, she left, all that kind of stuff, and just, she's out. So, they laid her out backstage. We don't know who laid her out, but basically Fallon and JC kicked her out of Fatal Influence, and that's it with Jasmine Nix and Fatal Influence and the WWE as a whole. So there you go. There could be a scenario, obviously, where, a new member of Fatal Influence debuts here, which I wouldn't be surprised at all if that were to happen. But I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to give it to Lola Vice. She has earned this, honestly. She has worked so hard for this moment, from going from MMA, now to the WWE, all that stuff, professional wrestling. It's something. It's pretty cool. She obviously ain't the first. She won't be the last. But the journey she's made here to get to this point. Of course, she won the breakout tournament this year. I remember she cashed in. Of course, she lost. Stuff like that. But here we are. She's got another shot at the championship here. I don't think this is where she's going to fail. I do think, this is where JC is going to drop the championship. If she doesn't, I would not be shocked at all. But I'm going to go with Lola Vice to win the NXT Women's Championship. Give her a big moment here. Have her become champ. Confetti's going to fly, all that stuff. Lola Vice to become the new NXT Women's Champion. And in the main event, we have the NXT Championship on the line as The ruler of NXT, Obafemi, defends his championship against the Revolution, Ricky Saints. I remember saying back at Heatwave as that show was going off the air, Ricky Saints is the next one, because I said going into it that, I like Javon Evans, but I just had that feeling he wasn't going to win. So, the next best person would be Ricky Starks. Now, I thought they're going to pull this next year at Stand Deliver. I know it's a long way away, but I had this feeling they were going to do it Stand Deliver, or at least, wait a few more pay-per-views before we did this match. But we're doing it here. I'm excited. But, of course, we have to talk about the big elephant in the room, which is the TNA invasion. I do think it will have an outcome. We're going to find out. We're going to see. Oba's been champ since January. An unstoppable force. An unstoppable ruler. An unstoppable champion. Is this where his reign is going to end? Yes. I think this is where it's going to end. There's going to be shenanigans in this match, obviously. There are going to be shenanigans galore in this match. I am intrigued to see how it's going to end. I do think TNA will get involved, obviously. The whole invasion angle, blah, blah, blah. There's that. I think Oba's great. Oba is great. But I think his time has come and gone, and his ender has arrived. And the Revolution will be televised on that night. I am saying Ricky Starks is going to become the new NXT champion. And then TNA are going to screw it all up because they're going to invade, because they are very, 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 very pissed off. But yes, Ricky Saints, I am picking to become the new NXT champion. And that's my predictions for WWE NXT No Mercy. It's looking good. It's looking stat. The tag toss not on the line, though. So, okay, whatever. Anyways, that's the show. That's my predictions on everything. I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait for this show, man. It's looking good. It's looking stat. Let's see how they're going to end it, too, because with this whole wild invasion angle from TNA, we're going to see some wild stuff on this night. But without all of that, I am the heelest of Balor, and I will see you all in the next video. Please just swing the like button down below. Subscribe to this like this one. Follow Twitter, Heel Balor, Instagram, Heel Balor YT. And I will see you all on the next one. Too sweet, and peace out.